Good morning, YouTubers. Out for a little ride today. Early in the morning. Sun's been up for a little while. Trying to get a ride in before it gets too hot. It's supposed to be 104 today. Basically been over 100 degrees for the last month almost. And next week it's supposed to be, well, starting this weekend, today is Saturday, 104, 105, 107, 108, 109, as far as the forecast can see. With little or no rain. So it doesn't look good for the farmers in the midsection of the country. Man, it's a bumpy ass road. Sometimes you gotta pick a bumpy road to get to a better road. This morning's topic, we're gonna start out just talking about cameras that we're all using to do these vlogs with. Let you kind of know where I'm coming from. What I'm shooting with now is a Drift HD, and I'm shooting in 1080p, 30 frames a second. The Drift is a pretty good camera. Pretty happy with it. It's got some firmware problems. I did a firmware update a few months back, and when I did, all of a sudden after the update I had no audio. So I had to get a hold of Drift, and they sent me a patch, a firmware patch, to correct the audio problem, but they haven't put that patch out on the internet yet. It's like they're waiting until they get enough complaints or something. I don't know what the deal is on that. So I finally got my audio back working the way it's supposed to be. It's a pretty good camera. I'm not real pleased with the battery life. I mean, it's all right, but it's nothing stupendous. The thing I don't like about the HD is you can't get the extended battery for it like you can with the Drift. I think it's called a Stealth 170 or HD 170 or whatever it is. It's kind of like the predecessor to this camera. This only takes a standard battery, so when you're going to be filming for any extended length of time, you better get another battery to take with you. They hold the charge pretty good. Lithium-ion batteries usually do, but there again, the useful life could be a little bit better, I think. At my little brother's house, he's not up yet. Sleeping in on such a beautiful morning. Shame on you. I know what I was going to do. I think I know what I was going to do. Yeah, I know what I was going to do. It takes my mind a little bit of time to figure out what's going on. We need to make a U-turn here. So we'll do it right here. A few more things about the Drift HD. Sometimes it has, gotta quit saying, sometimes it has problems with the exposure. And most of the problems it has with the exposure is not being able to react fast enough when you're in real shady spots and in real sunny spots. Of course, there's not a lot of cameras that can react that quick. So it's got a slight problem there. shooting towards the sun. It has some problems with vignetting. I hope I said that right. But overall, it's a pretty good camera. I bought the extended, what am I saying? I bought the external microphone for the Drift, from Drift. And it's not a bad little mic. They've got their own special size. Kind of I can't remember if it's a 3.5mm adapter you got to get if you want to use another microphone or not. I think that's what it is. And the microphone's got a little windscreen on it. It's got about a 3-foot cord on it, so you got plenty of cord. You can see what I'm talking about with the sun. We'll be riding into the sun for a little while there. Need to get my GPS out. I got mine in my pocket. I can't afford one to mount on the bike, but I've been thinking about Velcroing this onto the bike for the time being. Come down here and set this GPS to map. I think I've got it turned on. It's in my pocket. It's in my pocket. The microphone on the Drift, there's a few quirks with that. Let me see if I can get this out. Maybe, maybe not. Ah, here it comes. Naturally, what did it do? Oh, there it is, okay. If you can see that or not, that's the direction we're headed. The microphone on the Drift, when I use my handlebar mount, which you can see up here on the left that I'm pointing to, the mic, you know, comes across the engine of the cord, and it seems to pick up some engine static when I'm idling and at low speed, but as soon as I pick up some speed, the static goes away. So I'm thinking it could just be shielded better, probably. The microphone, pretty sensitive. On the Drift itself, you've got several settings to change mic sensitivity. And the audio, I think most of my problems result from where I've got it in my helmet. I've just got it tucked up on the left cheek pad. It's got a little alligator flip on it, and it's hooked on that way. And it catches some wind there, but there's not really a better spot to put it right now. I don't feel like cutting up my helmet to stick it up, you know, into the padding or anything, so it's going to have to live with a little wind noise. I like the rotatable lens on the Drift HD because on this helmet there's not an absolutely flat spot to mount it at, so you're kind of fooling with positions and everything else, and the Drift lens is a rotatable lens, so you can go ahead and set it up on your helmet and just twist the lens till you get the right orientation. Speaking of the lens, one thing I really don't like about it, and I see that there's a company out now called Rage, I believe, that is making some new lenses for the Drift. I believe one of the lenses that they've got out is a lens that helps correct the fisheye effect that you get with the Drift. And I think you can take out the current lens and install this other lens, and I don't think you have quite the wide angle that you have with the standard Drift lens, or the standard lens the Drift comes with, HD. Sorry, I'm looking all over the place, but I love looking at the wildlife. It's loaded with deer out here. So I've been thinking about that. I don't particularly like the fisheye effect, especially if you're using the camera off the bike at all. I don't very much, but every once in a while I'll take it and put it in the car. I've got a suction mount for the car. Sometimes I'll put it in there. Use it when we're going someplace. So I'm thinking about changing that in the future to a that's a little less fisheye. And I apologize again about the sun. I know I'm riding right into it, and it's early in the morning, but the return trip will be a lot better looking. That's what I should be doing, running this morning. I did before it got too hot, but I elected to do this instead, and I'm probably having more fun. I'll punish myself tomorrow morning. The Drift, the back of the Drift HD has little connector covers that you can pop open where your microphone, you can leave your water resistant, waterproof, whatever you want to call it, cover on there, and just go ahead and plug in. Didn't want to do that. I'll go there staring, so every once in a while I'll do that. I get zoned out for a split second in between shifts and don't pull up hard enough on this shifter going from first to second, and you get the resulting wah. I think after 45 years of riding I'd stop that stuff, but old habits are hard to break. So you've got the two connector spots in the back where you can run an extended battery pack on the back of it. And to run your microphone in. And it's on the back, so if I'm recording in the rain, the water's not going to get in there very easily. Now the camera is not waterproof, it's water resistant, but I've had it out in some pretty good rains. As long as I'm riding and the rain is blowing against my camera, don't have any problems. It's got a lithium-ion battery. Standard, you can't get the extended battery in the HD, so that's one of the drawbacks on it. Look at all the corn. It's just so pretty in here. This is one of them roads that you want to get after it a little bit, but at the same time, it's one of them roads where, man, I'm smelling I can smell the corn on the side of the road that's drying out because of no rain. It's all yellowed. I can smell it in the air. Like I said, this is the kind of road that is fun to drive really fast, but it's also neat to drive at a reasonable speed because there's so much wildlife. It's just loaded with deer. Nothing but cornfields on both sides of the road here. So you've got that to deal with. And then you got just looking at the scenery, man. It's just, look at that size, that damn water tower. Holy cow. That's cool. I've never been by that tower before. No idea where I'm at. Anyway, here's a good place to stop my first chunk of video up here. So I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes.